going to be talking about the inner sanctuary, finding solace in your spiritual practice. Our spirit, which vibrates at a high frequency, must descend into the heart of the matter so that we can fully experience what it means to be human and the incredible gifts awaiting us. Sue, not her real name, stood and frozen in the middle of her kitchen with a flickering fluorescent light above her like a cruel joke. She felt lost and stuck. Her hands trembled as she started and stared at the dirty dishes piled high in the sink. Another argument with her boss. Yuck. Another evening alone. Another wave of exhaustion pressed down on her until she could barely breathe. The hum of the refrigerator filled the silence, but inside her chest she heard the deafening roar of self-criticism. You're failing. You're not enough. You will never be enough. But Sue was a brilliant 60-year-old professional. She did not yet realize the incredible gifts awaiting her in her inner sanctuary. She had no real spiritual practice. Sue had always been the one everyone leaned on. Highly educated, ambitious, and resilient, she had risen to success despite a life of trauma, verbal abuse, molestation, sexual harassment, and more. She carried the invisible weight of PTSD symptoms, perfectionism, pursuing and pushing herself harder every day to outrun her pain. But that strategy never worked. And here she was, crumbling under the surface while outwardly seeming to hold it all together. Have you ever experienced this? The illusion of wellness. Sue kept everything running, her career, her family, and her relationships, but inside she was drowning. She worked so hard to explain herself clearly, but people didn't listen. She tried to fix the tension. Yeah, right. That didn't work. Instead, she felt unseen, unheard, and hurt. Sleep became a battle, lying awake, obsessing for too many hours. It was hard to fall asleep. She would wake up after 4 hours, and it was hard to return to sleep. She often felt unrested in the morning. Sue loved desserts, resulting in cravings and addiction to eating. Comfort food became a crutch, showing up in increased clothing sizes. Escape into mindless streaming movies became her only peace. Sue thought she could outwork her pain, that if she was good enough at everything, her job, her relationships, she would finally find relief. Sue strived to be successful at everything all the time, but all she felt was more exhaustion, more disappointment, more self-blame, more emotional burnout. Unlike Sue, or maybe like Sue, maybe you found yourself retreating from activities that you once loved, like walks in nature, connection, intimacy, because choosing joy feels just like one more task that you're going to fail at. One evening, after a particularly brutal week, Sue decided to do something different. Not bigger, not harder, not faster, smaller, quieter, gentler. Sue sat down alone with nothing but the sound of her own ragged breathing. She whispered to herself, there must be another way. She begged God for help. She sat still and listened. That's when she intuited a still small voice inside her. That was the night she began creating her precious inner sanctuary. Sue's first step wasn't about doing more. It was about listening to the still small voice inside her that had been silenced for decades. She gave herself permission to stop and just breathe, slowly and deeply, without pushing, without rushing into the next task. She slowed down and chose to be more deliberate and more mindful, to grieve what was never fair, to feel the anger without explaining it away, to honor her spirit without needing to earn it. Slowly and with the patience of a woman rebuilding her home brick by broken brick, Sue pieced together a few simple spiritual practices that anchored her. Here are her 5 simple steps. 1. 5 minutes of slow, deep breathing every morning, even if chaos awaited beyond the door. Writing one honest sentence every day in her journal, even when it scared her. Mindfully blessing water before drinking and food before eating, infusing it with streams of gold and white and purple light. Walking outside several times each week, not for exercise, but just to breathe in fresh air, to be energetically connected to Mother Earth again and just be. Lighting a candle and saying a blessing for herself each evening, even if she felt foolish. Each practice wasn't about escaping her pain. It was about coming home to herself. Have you given yourself that same permission? Maybe you believe healing must be complicated. Maybe you think spiritual growth is only for people who have it all together. But you don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to begin. Imagine, what if instead of criticizing yourself for struggling, you could build a sacred, quiet space inside you, a place where no one could invade, belittle, or betray? What if, when life gets heavy, you had a sanctuary that you could return to? There are consequences to ignoring the inner call. Sue realized without creating her inner sanctuary that she would stay trapped in a toxic relationship with herself. She would stay trapped in cycles of self-loathing, trapped in the endless race for approval that would never come. The cost of ignoring her inner life was too high. Her spirit was too precious to be broken, and so is yours. Here are 3 common mistakes that women make when trying to heal. 1, believing that healing must come from the outside, through a relationship, a job, or someone else's validation. 2, thinking you have to earn peace by first fixing all of your flaws. Nope, don't have to. 3, waiting until life calms down to begin your inner work. But hear this, healing doesn't wait. Your soul doesn't wait. The sanctuary you need is waiting inside you right now. If you're ready to learn how to be successful over the long term, ready to have more energy and motivation, to feel more excited about life's unseen opportunities, even if you're scared of being disappointed yet again, I have something for you. You can move from merely surviving to truly thriving for less than $1 a day. For a power-packed set of guided exercises, videos, and colorful worksheets, and more, you will get my personal time and attention. Coaches and therapists cost so much more than $1 a day. I charge $200 for 1 hour of my therapy when I do therapy in my counseling practice. I've been a trauma-informed licensed therapist for over 20 years. I invite you to join me in my empowering course and membership program, including weekly Zoom meetings with women who struggle with similar problems. In Surviving to Thriving, we work on these things that I have described and so much more. No matter how busy you are in your life, you can do this. You will go at your own pace. You'll learn simple, powerful ways to reconnect with yourself, to break out of old, worn-out emotional patterns, and create a sanctuary your spirit has always longed for. Does that sound good to you? Join the journey for 80% off while this special lasts. Go to emcourse.com/special. It's time to come home to yourself and rediscover the bliss that already lives deep inside you. Begin manifesting the life you were meant to live. You have the strength within. Let's unlock it together. Sign up today. Your life is waiting. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel to see new uplifting videos to address your worries and desires. And please like and share with your friends. So many women share your difficulties and concerns and don't know where to turn. Let's share the love and the real tools that work. The world needs healed women with the divine feminine shining through.